It's your boy GM Slickdeezy out the Heezy. Matter of fact, go subscribe to me right now. Tickle that notification button, do all that. And now for the premiere. Yes, today we're doing How High 2. Like, really? So there you go. When a pair of friends uncover a weed Bible, their magical stash gets stolen, sending them on a pot-fueled quest through Atlanta to find it. Yeah, this one. Oh boy. Let me just get to it. Let's get it cracking already. Now, right off the bat, you got little Yachty up here working in a Burger King or something like that. That's very apropos for his garbage ass music. Shit, probably better off doing this. You know what I mean? I mean, his acting is not great on any level. But it's like saying the shit I took last week is better than the shit I took this week. But at the end of the day, when you really stop and think about it, it's like his mediocre acting is better than all of his music. So there you go. When I feel about that. So apparently he knew these girls or whatever like that, so they came through the drive-thru to get him high. But what they were really trying to do was get him passed out so they could rob the store. So his boss is Carlos Miller from Wildin' Out, getting it popping. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, he tells Carlos that this dumbass story about how the store got robbed or whatever like that. But he forgot that they actually have cameras, so they saw everything that happened. So he basically lost his job at this point. You know what I'm saying? So now we get our first appearance from DC Young Fly, another character from Wildin' Out. He's actually funny. You know what I'm saying? He's up there doing I don't know, Uber lifts or whatever like that, but it's basically for this guy and he's just trying to get weed off him. So as Roger's standing out there in front of a bank loan store, he got this holy ass shirt on. I guess he's trying to get a shirt so he could go and fill out an application or something. I mean, it looks real stupid. And then here comes his love interest. This girl named Alicia that used to know him back in high school or whatever. And so they link up after he gets fired from his job at the restaurant or whatever. So there you go. There's your love interest angle. Yeah. So basically, he goes to the bank. He's not even really trying to get a job. I guess he's trying to get a loan or something. But look who he's talking to, though. Yeah, dude from How High 1. He does a brief cameo. You remember him. You remember his face. Yeah, that guy. Officer Fane Picklestein. He ran the campus or whatever. The one that smoked weed and was eating all the pizza at the end of it. Classic. Yeah, so basically he does this brief cameo, basically saying you can't get a loan, get the fuck out of here. You already know what it is. Yeah, so at this point in the movie, I forgot whether they were cousins or best friends, but they basically roll with each other, you know what I'm saying? They keep each other on the level, I guess. So at this point in the movie, we get our first shot from D. Ray Davis. He's supposed to be a trap hustler or whatever like that, but he ain't got no real weed or whatever the case may go on. So you're hustling for a guy that doesn't even, he just sits at his house all day. He's got his peoples there. And then on top of that, you live right next door to him. It's like, can't make this stuff up. So at this point, they had enough of D. Ray Davis. Now they chilling down in their basement or whatever. Roger's mom's basement. So DC Young Fly throws his phone at a picture frame by accident and it uncovers a hole in the brick wall. And he ends up having a weed Bible in there. A weed Bible. I wonder who just left that around for somebody to discover. Like, really? So basically they smoked this and they're obviously tripping. Clearly tripping. Like they're in video game land or something. Look at the pizza in the background. Like, what? So they've been tripping and apparently so have I, because now all of a sudden I see Mike Epson's movie while they going through the land of ooh. You know what I mean? I don't know who this chick is, but y'all probably know. So right off the back, you got two cameos from How High 1. I mean, Mike Epps plays a bigger part in the movie other than the security guy from part 1. But still, you got two cameos already. And once again, the world is thinking to themselves, where's Red and Meth? You know what I'm saying? So Mike Epps and his girls, they're basically telling them about the natural superpowers that this weed contains. Super kush or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. Sounds like some shit you tell somebody when when they're high. Cue the music. So basically, they get the recipe to grow this super weed that came out the weed Bible. So after all the work they do, they stem this one little sprout, so they're kind of dejected with themselves. But then all of a sudden, it grows into a big ass fucking Jack and the Beanstalk type of weed. Like, really? That's what we doing? Yeah, okay. So at this point, I'm wondering if they're still hallucinating or they really just grown a whole bunch of weed. So it's like, So apparently they ride in the car or something. I'm like, oh snap, this weed is official. Yep, so basically they rocking out to this, and then all of a sudden, DC crashes into somebody's car. So then you got these two big men that come out, but then you don't even know who's behind the wheel of the car, whatever's going down. But they're security guards for a certain somebody. Yeah, little baby makes an appearance in the movie. So there you go. He's out there as bodyguards, little goons or whatever, and all that stuff. So at this point, it basically looks like they're about to get their ass whooped. But then Roger here gives them a good of that, the special weed, or whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? And they all end up smoking it, whatever like that. And they forget why they even there in the first place. So that gets them out of an ass whooping. So they basically going around trying to sell their weed, getting it popping. You know what I'm saying? Feel me? He's selling weed to clowns. The angry man working on the grill all day. White guy at high school trying to be cool. People like that. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to get it popping. So they doing their thing, making all this cheese or whatever. But I want you to take a guess of what happens. Guess what happens, Somebody steals their daggone weed. You know what I'm saying? They stealing all that joint. And they probably stole the weed bottle too. So obviously you would suspect D. Ray Davis has something to do with this shit. I mean, come on, man. Like, for real. He lives right next door to them, sells weed. He's mad that they sell some super weed. I mean, come on. It's obvious, right? But he gives them some lame ass excuse how it couldn't have been him, and then they're like, check this guy at the school, so they end up going back to their old high school. It's like, what? So basically, that's all they're doing here is trying to find the culprit. So this is principal that still works there, and he hates DC because, like, at one point in time, DC had smashed his ex-wife, and he was like he had a grudge with him, and he's still at this school for some reason. So that's funny. So you got this old school professor that's there that he smokes weed and he's still trying to find some, but then he gives them a little bit of information to figure out where their weed stash has been stolen or went off to. So basically, the principal catches up with him in this scene. They start doing some hallucinogenic drug shit, but they think they're really doing it in real life. So it's like, you'll see what I'm talking about. Oh, so he throws a ball at him. Oh, yeah, look at this. Super high jumping and all that goofiness. But yeah, that's look at him trying to land like he's a daggone Black Panther or something. Anyway, yeah, look at dunking on their face, flying and all this other stuff. But they're not really doing that because they're high. So, but anyway, you know what I mean? That's what happens. So they hit it on the back of a school bus while it was moving just to escape the principal. And they just happen to be at a spot where, here you go, love interest, Alicia hits a scene or whatever like that. So, yeah, and she's doing her little, yeah. So basically, she gets them to help out as part of the tour or whatever like that. But I don't know if they have any qualifications to do this type of work. So they're traveling throughout the building, and the building is actually called Fire, right? I guess because it got that fire weed. I mean, I don't know. But the funny thing is, you're gonna trip. Like, guess who's in charge of this building though? All right, so this lady's in charge of the whole building. She's talking like black slang and stuff like that. But like, if you don't recognize her face, I'll give you an example. Yeah, back in the day, she played the blind chick in Road Trip, the one where she was worked for a bunch of school bus company or whatever. But yeah, the school for the blind. Yes, that she ran the desk in that movie. So yeah, that's where she came from. Yeah, that classic. Yeah, I didn't even think I could remember that something that far back, but yeah. So that's pretty much what she's been doing since then and now. So all right. So anyway, DC got bored staying with the kids, so he wanted to go off and do some of his private investigation or whatever you want to do. Meanwhile, Yachty and Alicia is getting some making up for lost time. They haven't talked in a while or whatever like that. So love interest stuff. So basically, DC's been fishing around this point, and then he spaz out seeing this woman in a straitjacket. Yeah, this is a big part of the story. Basically, what's happening is this lady's getting off. She's not using her proper channels or techniques to make her weed specials. Basically, like enhanced stuff, and that's got people going crazy. Hence, the lady that you saw in the straitjacket. So yeah, it ain't good for the rest of the United States. The wrong way to do weed. But anyway, the security guard catches them, and they find out they really not working for the company. But it's like she already knew that, so I'm like, I don't even know what the deal was. But the boss didn't know. So basically, Alicia covers for them. So she covered for them to make sure everything was good, and they find out some other evidence to go down to meet this guy at a club. You know what I'm saying? So basically, she's down to go there too. So she's like, hey, it is what it is. I'm about to get it popping. So they're like, okay. So they basically go down to this club to see, to try to get the plot to see who stole their weed. But guess who they run into? Guess who they run into at the club? Yes, it's another cameo. There you go. Popcorn player himself. Another cameo from the original How High. Yeah. Exactly. Popcorn player. And once again, no red MF. Okay, so they're looking for this guy named Ivanov, but it turns out it's not a he, it's a she. Yeah. So there you go. Once again, a magical high moment. They think they're speaking Russian, but they're really speaking a bunch of gibberish. You know what I'm saying? They think, oh, yeah, yeah, we're getting along with it, but really they're not. So something went wrong with the deal, apparently. So she's there trying to do fake dances, whatever that. She ends up kicking this girl's ass. So they ended up on this campus. They're trying to sell some more weed, do whatever like that. But in the process, Roger runs into the two girls that robbed him and got him basically fired from the store. So it's like, okay. So the girls ain't trying to tell our heroes nothing, and then Alicia gets all Bone Thugs and Harmony, wants to get all gangster with them, and then they start spewing out some information or whatever. So that's what takes place here. So they go to this alpha beta party, or I can't remember the fraternity sororities or whatever. Some goofy shit happens. So they try to sell weed to this guy. They try to find out who Tobin is. Tobin is the same goofy ass white boy that they sold to at the other high school they were at. So it was like, well, was this a surprise or was this coincidence? It was like, okay. So at this point, they're convinced Tobin's the one that stole the super weed, but he really didn't. Some more weeded up superhero Jedi mind trick powers kick in. It's like,
What is he doing?
yeah, like he's really pulling the book towards him. It's like, come on, man. Like, yeah, so, obviously that's not happening, but, it's just dumb. Yeah, it's just dumb. So basically, we get to this part where D. Ray Davis is about to move out the trap house. Why is he about to do this? Because he was the one that stole the weed Bible and the weed in the first place. Yeah, that's what happened. He ended up selling the Bible to somebody else, and on top of that, he was just like, "Yeah, I'm about to move up out of here. Y'all trap is done. It is what it is." All right, so throughout the movie, when they were in the house, you would hear his mom's voice, but you never see who she is. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So who's his mama in the movie? Another cameo, Nene Leakes. I mean, she came in from Love and Hip Hop and all that shit, but still a cameo nonetheless. Well, I might have got that wrong, but whatever. I don't watch those shows. But bottom line is, so you're telling me he done stole a weed Bible, took all their weed, and was smashing his mom, all while he's right next door to her, and they're about to go move somewhere because he done sold all his stash. Can't make this stuff up. So at this point, Roger's heated, so he gives this stupid ass argument to his girl so you can have, I guess, movie friction, that type of thing. They somehow trying to get some stuff to pop off, so they meet up with the CEO of Fi, she got that Fi, you know what I mean? But anyway, she basically has their weed, so it's nothing they can really do about it, but they get her to spill some dirt or some information about what's going on with the offices at Fire or whatever like that. So without her knowledge or consent, Roger's basically stressed out, so he goes back home to smoke. The last little bit of stuff, he sees Mike Epps and all them again, telling them that all this superpower stuff he was doing is not superpower shit, which we obviously knew. He tries to make up with his girl, like she ain't really falling for it, but then she kind of is, so it is what it is. And they need help to get into the offices to expose the fire lady. She has a conference on stage, but they basically exposed what she was talking about in the parking lot, and that exposed her as being crazy. Mixing weed with unnatural substances is never good, so bottom line is, save the weed. you know? And basically they're trying to get people to save the weed. She ends up getting arrested and all this other shit happens. So after all that, he ends up getting his boo. 6 months later, they end up somehow running the whole company. He goes back to his old boss, giving him respect and all that. He's been chilling. Him, DC, and this girl got a fresh new car, whatnot. They flexing on the streets. Somebody about to get sued for some Back to the Future shit right here. As you're clearly about to see. Oh, flying into the screen. Word. That's what they doing? Wow. Yeah, and that's basically How High 2. So basically, a mediocre storyline where the rhythm is all over the place, but then they get back to subject about this fire boss and basically just trying to make weed better after that weed got stolen from D. Ray Davis. He get dipped off with his mom. It's like, okay. Now, a lot of people knew the situations of why Red and Meth weren't in the movie or whatever because they had licensing issues and things of that nature. But it's like, if you get all the cameos to certain people, especially Popcorn Player, the security guard, and, you know what I mean? Like, it was just certain things we looked at. It was just like, come on, man. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. I just wish Red and Meth could at least did a cameo on it or something. But obviously, it didn't happen like that. But that's How High 2 in a nutshell. I mean, basically, it is what it is. Hey, DC Young Fly, keep doing your comedy thing, get it popping. Lil Yachty, get yourself in more movies because your music is borderline absolute dumpster juice trash. You know what I'm saying? Like, keep that as your profession. I mean, keep working on your acting skills or something like that. But yeah, that's how I too. What do you think about it? Hit me up. Give me some comments. Subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Hit that like button. You know what it is.